3 days after Hiroshima, the world changed forever again. At exactly 11:02 a.m. on August 9, 1945, a second artificial sun exploded above Japan. In less than a second, tens of thousands of people vanished. Buildings melted, shadows burned into walls, and the age of nuclear warfare became terrifyingly real. But here's the part many people don't know. Nagasaki was never supposed to be the primary target. Clouds, fuel problems, and last-minute decisions changed history forever. Tonight, we break down the full story of the Nagasaki atomic bombing, the mission, the bomb, the destruction, the survivors, and how this single attack helped end World War II while starting the nuclear age at the same time. This is the story of Nagasaki. August 6, 1945, the United States dropped the first atomic bomb in history on Hiroshima. The bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, instantly devastated the city. But despite the destruction, Japan still did not surrender immediately. Inside Tokyo, military leaders were divided. Some wanted peace negotiations. Others believed Japan should continue fighting, even if it meant national suicide. At the same time, another disaster hit Japan. On August 8th, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and invaded Japanese-controlled territory in Manchuria. This shocked Japanese leadership because they had hoped the Soviets might help negotiate peace. Now Japan faced pressure from both East and West, and the United States was already preparing a second atomic strike. In the early morning of August 9th, a B-29 bomber named Boxcar took off from Tinian Island in the Pacific. The aircraft was piloted by Major Charles Sweeney. Inside the bomber was a plutonium atomic bomb known as Fat Man. Unlike the Hiroshima bomb, which used uranium, Fat Man used a far more complex plutonium implosion design developed during the Manhattan Project. The original target was not Nagasaki, it was the city of Kokura, home to major Japanese military factories. But almost everything went wrong during the mission. One fuel pump failed before takeoff, meaning thousands of pounds of fuel became unusable. Then clouds and smoke covered Kokura, making visual bombing nearly impossible. For nearly 45 minutes, the bomber circled the city while Japanese anti-aircraft defenses became increasingly dangerous. Fuel was running low. The crew had to make a decision: abort the mission or move to the secondary target. That secondary target was Nagasaki. At around 11:02 a.m., Boxcar finally reached Nagasaki. Clouds still covered much of the city. At the last possible moment, Bombardier Kermit Bayhan spotted an opening in the clouds and released Fat Man. The bomb fell for about 43 seconds. Then, 1,650 feet above the city, it exploded. The blast unleashed energy equal to roughly 21,000 tons of TNT. A massive fireball instantly reached temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Everything near ground zero disappeared. Steel structures twisted. Concrete buildings collapsed. Human bodies were vaporized in an instant. A mushroom cloud rose miles into the sky as shockwaves ripped through the valley city. Ironically, Nagasaki's hilly terrain actually reduced the destruction compared to Hiroshima. Some neighborhoods were shielded by mountains, but even with that protection, the devastation was unimaginable. An estimated 35,000 to 40,000 people were killed almost immediately. By the end of 1945, the death toll had risen to around 70,000 due to burns, injuries, and radiation sickness. Entire families vanished. Children wandered through burning streets, searching for parents who would never answer. Many survivors suffered horrific burns. Others appeared physically unharmed at first, only to die days later from radiation poisoning. Doctors had never seen anything like it. Hair fell out, skin blackened, internal organs failed, and years later, survivors continued developing cancer and chronic illness caused by radiation exposure. The survivors became known as the Hibakusha, the bomb-affected people. Many spent the rest of their lives warning the world about nuclear weapons. This remains one of the biggest debates in history. Some historians argue the atomic bombings forced Japan to surrender. Others believe the Soviet invasion was equally important, or even more important, in convincing Japanese leaders that defeat was inevitable. But one fact is certain. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. World War II was over. For the first time in history, nuclear weapons had been used in war, and humanity suddenly understood that entire cities could now be destroyed in seconds. The nuclear age had begun. Today, Nagasaki is rebuilt. Modern streets, schools, and businesses stand where the explosion once destroyed everything. But reminders of the bombing remain everywhere. Destroyed statues, burned artifacts, watch faces frozen at the exact moment of detonation. Every year, on August 9th, the city holds memorial ceremonies to honor the victims and call for a world without nuclear weapons. And even after 80 years, the debate continues. Did the bomb save lives by ending the war quickly, or did it cross a moral line humanity should never have crossed? No matter where people stand on that question, Nagasaki changed history forever, because after August 9th, 1945, war was no longer limited by bullets, ships, or armies. Humanity now had the power to erase civilization itself. Nagasaki was the second, the last city ever destroyed by a nuclear weapon in war. The scars of that day still remain, not just in Japan, but in the entire world, because the shadow of the mushroom cloud never truly disappeared. If you enjoyed this World War II documentary, subscribe for more real stories from history's darkest moments. And remember, history isn't just about the past. Sometimes it's a warning about the future.